this beat is automatic, supersonic, hypnotic, funky, fresh, so melodic. Ooh! Okay, let's just say the gift of singing and dancing was not my anointing. Just kidding, guys. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the channel. You guys, welcome back and welcome if you're new here. My name is Laura Perosier. I create all kinds of content, mainly content to help you grow and level up your life. And you guys, we just do life together. Anything that brings me joy, I want to share with you on here. So you guys, are you ready? Today has been a long awaited video, guys. Today I'm gonna teach you how to houseplant, all things houseplant. I am gonna walk you through step 1 through the finish line. You guys, by the end of this video, I want you to feel confident enough to walk into the store, bring your plant home, and then be able to keep it alive for years to come. That is the main purpose of this video. And if they die, do not feel bad. I myself have killed a numerous of plants that I am not proud of, but you live and you learn. So be gracious with yourself, you guys. You are gonna be a new plant parent. So if you are ready, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Before we dive deep into this video, you guys, I want you to know that there are some houseplants that are poisonous to your animals, okay? So be mindful if you know you got animals that might eat up your plants, if you got cats that might get up on things, dogs, I will not be liable for harming your babies. So do your homework. Please note there are some plants that are toxic for your little fur babies, and I will not be held liable, okay? By the grace of God, these dogs have been really good. They haven't chewed up or ate any of my plants, which I'm really grateful for because they would have to get spankings. Just kidding, you should, you good girl. I love her. I love houseplants. Deeply passionate about them. Very few things get me excited the way that houseplants get me. Like literally every time I travel, I'm like, let's go to the plant store. Every other week, I'm like, I gotta go look at the plant store. I don't know, there's something so zenful about it and I love it. And honestly, it brings your house to life. You guys, plants are living things. They clean your air. It is such a tranquil hobby. Having plants have been so good for my mental health. In 2019 is when I got into houseplant. I was watching a YouTuber at the time and I saw her take care of her plants and it just really like triggered something in me. I was like, I want a plant. So literally one night my husband and I go to, I think it was either Lowe's or Home Depot, and we bought a yucca tree. And you guys, I am gonna get into the plants you should get because not all plants are created equal. Some of them literally are a headache and a migraine, but I'm gonna walk you through my collection and what I personally recommend. You guys, this is personal preference. There is no right way or wrong way, but the plants that worked out for me that I think are so cute and have stood the test of time. A lot of my plants I've had for 3 to 4 years plus, and some that are newer. These plants are the ones I would recommend. They are beginner friendly, and honestly, I'm gonna walk you through, show you my plants and how to take care of them. First and foremost, guys, plants need sunlight. They need the vitamin D. They need it the same way humans need sunlight. Plants need sunlight. Please don't put your plant in a room without windows. Like, it needs light, y'all. That is literally the lifeline of your plant, okay? But there is alternatives. You can get artificial lights and you can order those off of Amazon. I am not crazy about the artificial lighting, but there's people and other YouTubers and videos I'm sure you can find out more about on those. But me, I am a natural light, vitamin D, sunlight, all day, every day kind of girl. I'm gonna try to stay away from being super technical on this video. You guys, I want this to be like a houseplant 101. We're not gonna get super technical here. We're gonna do just enough so that you're not overwhelmed and you're not like, what the heck, I'm so confused. Like, you guys, keep it easy, keep it simple, because truly taking care of houseplants is simple, and I think we're the ones who complicate it. But anyways, guys, so you will need natural light. I will say south facing windows are the best. North is the worst, and then west and east are really good as well, coming runner up to the south facing window. And I'll put a chart here you guys could literally screenshot. So how do you know which way your windows face? You guys, with the iPhones and the Android, there is a built-in compass app. So all you do is get to your compass app right there. You could just type it in your search bar. It'll pull your compass and walk up to your window like this, guys, and it will tell you what direction your window is facing. I'm pointing this and it says this is an east facing window. So biggity bam, you guys, I'm telling you, first and foremost, sunlight, okay? Just try to avoid the north facing window. If you do have a north facing window, there are some plants that are tolerant to it, but for the most part, every other window works, just north being the least preferred. Like I said, this is my east facing window and the plants behind me sit about 10 feet from the window. You guys, if you want to put your plants right up next to your east facing window, they're gonna be fine because the sun rises from the east and it's really soft. So that's why I really love that morning east facing window sun. You guys can put plants really literally dead on your window, or like me, I have them 10 feet back. And honestly, I haven't tested how far back plants can go without, I guess, the sunlight actually reaching it. I've never tested this theory, but this sits about 10 feet back and it has been alive and well and been doing wonderful. So you guys, I'm gonna walk you back here. So what plants do I recommend? You guys, there are so many plants out there on the market, and honestly, I still would go back to this, the pothos. This is probably one of my favorite plants, if not my favorite plant. Like, they're so easy to care for, they're super resilient, they bounce back every time. And yeah, like this is called a pothos. This one is called a golden pothos. You can see the gold in them, that's why they're called the golden pothos. But there's so many variegations of this same plant, which I'm gonna show y'all later. But anyways, guys, so if you're just starting, please do me a favor and get yourself a pothos. They're so easy to care for, so easy. So always gonna recommend a good pothos. In my opinion, once you get like the care of how to keep plants alive, I feel like the rule of thumb is very general for all of them. I feel like they all require the same care, except some just get really thirsty faster when others don't. So when it comes to the pothos and buying the plants, I would always recommend you guys buy plants that are at the minimum 4 inches. Okay, guys? I know when you're first starting out, you're like, I want the baby house plant. Let me just get something this big. The little baby pots. You guys, please don't do that. That's my opinion, but those baby plants, they need water. They dry out way too fast, and that's the reason I prefer bigger pots, because you water them and you don't have to water them again for like 2 to 3 like weeks, whereas those little ones, you have to give them water like every week. So that is my hot take, is always try to stick to plants that are, you know, at least 4 inches or bigger. Most of the time when you go into the store and you're looking for one of these, they're not typically gonna be this long. This is years of growth, guys, okay? Please know that when you're at the store, these bad boys are not gonna be trailing to this degree unless you buy them on like Facebook Marketplace. You can buy them on plant groups already matured. And that is one thing I actually love to do. I love to already buy mature plants. So that is my tip and my pointer, is look for mature plants, because you guys, we can't mimic their environment. These things naturally live in the wild and the forest, and unless we can recreate that, like, these things don't grow at the rapid speeds and, you know, the right environment. So these things, they do grow fast, you guys, but it does sometimes take years to get that length. So I just don't want you guys to go in there and look for something that's like supposed to be this long, because that takes years to grow, or you can look for mature ones. How do you know when plants need water? How do you know? How do you know how much water to give it and when to give it water? Because that does matter, guys. And I will say, I have found a method that I want to share with you guys. And it may take you a while, but I taught one of my friends this, and she's able to do it now. And she's able to gauge her plant leaves and know when to water. So you guys, The leaves, when they need water, they become really flimsy and thin. Like, I literally could tell you this plant needs water because how thin and flimsy this leaf is right now. Like, it's literally so thin and flimsy. And I will say this takes a little while to gauge. And so don't like expect to become a pro overnight. You'll come to find out like a thick leaf to a thin leaf based on time. You guys, starting off, you might have to stick your finger in the dirt, okay? Here is my tree, my pride and my joy. You guys, I love this tree. I love this tree so much. But anyways, so how do I know when this thing needs water? You guys, there's a lot of dry leaves. You guys, that happens when you can underwater, and there's been times when I forgot to water the plant, and that's when this happens. It has dry leaves. So brown means dried, and if you see your plant leaves yellowing, it means you are over watering. So you guys note that. Brown and crispy equals underwatering. Yellow typically means that it's being overwatered. And I want you to note this as well, because this is very important, is that sometimes when you take a plant home from the store and you put them in your house, they have to acclimate, they have to adjust. So that's why sometimes they'll get yellow drop leaves, is because they're adjusting to their new environment, which is your new home or office or wherever you're putting it. So yes, note that. Back to the watering. So I always say whenever it needs water, I would say about when half the soil is dry. When about half the soil is dry, you stick your hand in there, and I can literally feel it's damped. This does not need water right now. But when it's dry, you guys know dry soil, give it some water. When it's about halfway dry, give it some water, okay? It's so easy, guys. I'm telling you, don't overthink this process. I don't want to even have to over explain it to you because it's that easy, guys. I'm not kidding, okay? This one is up on my fridge. I will jump up there and pour water into it. And at the bottom of pretty much all of my planters, they're plastic. They have holes at the bottom, guys. Make sure that all your plants have holes at the bottom, because this is a way that you can give them water either from the bottom or the top, and I'm gonna show you that. So this right here, you just water it and let the water run down through your plant. I'll have it sometimes over a sink, or you can have it on a tray. And as soon as the water starts coming through and touching the tray, you've watered it thoroughly. So this is the best way I could put it in a visual manner, okay guys? So when your plant needs water, the leaves are like thin and flimsy, like this, okay? Thin and flimsy like this is when your plant needs water. And when your leaves are thick and girthy like this, it's solid. And you're gonna have to practice this method. You guys, start with sticking your finger in the dirt. If half of it is dry, half of the soil is dry, give it a water. But if you want to go the method that I have found works best for me without having to get the dirt under my nails, this is the best way I can explain it, is when the leaf is thin, like a piece of paper, it needs some water. When the leaf is nice and firm, you're solid. So typically up on a plant this big, I don't water but every 2 to 3 weeks. There are 1,000,001 plants out there, okay? But I personally have narrowed them down to 2 categories. I've tried to separate them into 2 different categories. So this is a Hoya and this is a succulent. And when it comes to Hoyas and succulents, I bottom water them. And I will explain that here in just a bit. And then the other ones is going to be the leafy plants, plants with regular looking leaves, and trees. I top water these. So I top water these plants and I bottom water these plants. And I will explain that to you here in just a second. And this is where we get into identifying plants. You guys, when I first got into houseplants, I did not know the difference about houseplants. I didn't know what plant was what. I was so baffled and confused, and I was literally distraught, guys. And over my years of experience, I would say this is the best way I could break it down for you guys. Even though it might seem slightly confusing right now, I guarantee you when you get further and you are more versed with houseplants that this will be like a piece of cake to you, okay? So right now, say we don't know anything about anything. This is where I give you guys the tools I learned along the way, guys. So when I first got into the houseplants, I didn't know what plant was what. I was so confused. I'm like, what's a tropical? What's a succulent? What is a Hoya? But you guys have no fear. Google is here, okay? Google, you guys, is your best friend when it comes to this. You get onto the camera, bink, right there. It'll pull this right here up. All you do is hold it right here against your plant and click search, and it will identify the plant for you. So it tells you this is a wax plant. So Hoyas, the reason I know Hoyas and they are some of my favorite plants is because they all have a similar look. They all vine, they all kind of trail like this, and the leaves, they're called the wax plant for a reason. The leaves are very thick and chunky, and they actually hold water in the leaves. So Hoyas are some of my favorite plants because they hold water in their leaves. I don't have to water this, but literally every 3 to 4 weeks, every month. And that's why I love them. And I'm gonna show you guys more Hoyas here in just a bit. This right here is the pencil cactus. It's a succulent, and these things also hold water in them. However, they're a little different. And so how do you know when to water these? You guys, these things, when they need water, they wrinkle like raisins. And I don't know, they're very intricate. You can see it with your eyes. Let me see if I can focus. But you guys, when these plants need water, they get wrinkly. And that is one of the things of how you will know when to water plants, is that they wilt. They will literally start to raisin and be screaming, help, water me, because they get wrinkly. You guys, you can't see it, like clearly I let that one probably go a little bit too long without water, but I want to show you guys the bottom watering method. This is one of my personal favorite ways to water succulents and Hoyas, okay? So you guys know how earlier I was talking about trying to get bigger plants because they hold water longer? Succulents and Hoyas are an exception to that because they do retain water in their leaves and can go for longer periods without having to be watered. I don't mind getting a smaller one of those. So sometimes I'll have 4-inch Hoyas or succulents like you see here. This is honestly, it's not that big on the base. This is about a 4-inch plant right here, but because they can go for long periods without watering, I don't mind the small ones. But when it comes to those tropical leafy pots like pothos, small ones like this need water pretty frequently. Here is how you bottom water, guys, and this is the best method I have found for Hoyas and succulents, okay? So boom, bickety boom. This is just tap water. This is lukewarm tap water, and I just put it in a bowl, and I'll let this thing sit in here. I gotta find a way to balance it. I'll let it sit in there and make sure, I typically lean it up against the wall, but I'll let this sit for like an hour. And as soon as you see that the top of the dirt is wet, that's when you take it out. Typically it's an hour. With smaller plants, it's faster. With bigger plants, it takes a little bit longer. But I have never had a problem with bottom watering these kind of plants. Like, they have been so easy and a breeze to work with. Once you see the top soil is wet, it's dark, that's when you take it out. And after that, you don't have to water them but for like another month. Welcome to the jungle, baby. This room is my pride and my joy and my zen and my place of peace and rest. You guys, I take so much pride in this room because I built it with love. I've grown my collection. When I tell you guys I love pothos, I was not being dramatic. This is literally the collection of all my pothos. Granted, this is a Mikan, which is different, but it's a trailing plant and they have velvet leaves. But other than that, everything else is a pothos. So there is a variation, a variety of pothos, guys. So the one you saw earlier was golden. So this one is a satin pothos. satin pothos, guys, and you can see the silver leaves on these are so beautiful, guys. When I tell you I have nothing but a collection of pothos because they grow beautifully, easily, low maintenance. I mean, they're beautiful trailing plants. You guys, that's what I mean by overwatering probably. Or I also brought it into this room so it could also be an acclimation yellow. So, but yellowing is normal. Don't freak out. It happens. It just means it's either adapting or it's being overwatered, and you can monitor that. And after, I would say about a month, your plant should acclimate pretty well. And after that, it should stop doing the yellowing thing. So yeah. Boop! Over here is my neon pothos. This is a beautiful bright green. I mean, it lives up to its name. It's called the neon pothos. Over here is, I actually don't 100% know if this is in the pothos family, but I know they call it a scindapsus. Houseplants have the craziest scientific names. It's insane. I'm like, what's the name of that plant again? You guys, I only know because I used to live and breathe and watch YouTube videos and watch everything, and that's the only reason I became familiar with how to pronounce houseplant names and stuff like that. This right here is a snow queen pothos, you guys. This is, I cannot get over the variegation, like the patterns of these leaves always amaze me. They're just so beautiful. And this is typically bright white. Like if this thing gets really, really bright, like light, it will live up to its name. Right now, it's kind of a few feet back from my west facing window, but like the leaves are very like speckled. Oh yes, here's a fresh one. And this is a snow queen pothos. Pothos, potato, same difference. But you guys, these leaves, oh my God, they're so beautiful. So beautiful. And over here is another golden pothos. This bad boy is needing some milk, y'all. It needs to, you can also remove the dead leaves, guys. It's not always gonna be picture perfect. Okay, I am removing these dead leaves. I also just repotted that, so it's acclimating. A lot of it is acclimating. Here is the rest of my plant collection pretty much. I have a couple more, but this is called the Swiss cheese plant. And this is you would take care of this plant the same way you treat a pothos. It's literally top water. You can also bottom water pothos. It's the same difference, guys. But I noticed when it comes to succulents and Hoyas, bottom watering really helps the leaves retain their water. And so you don't overwater them so you don't kill them. That's the reason I love the bottom watering aspect of things. But yeah, so this is my Swiss cheese plant. And these holes are called fenestrations. And yeah, I just kind of nerd out when it comes to plants. This right here is my Hoya obovado. This plant has been with me like the longest ever. I think this plant is going on over 5 years old. And I'm just in love with it, guys. This bad boy is beefy. It's a big, juicy, beautiful, beautiful plant. So this is where I'm going to give you the breakdown of the Hoyas. It might sound foreign to you right now, but they all have a similar look. They're a wax plant that hold water in their leaves, and they're all viners. So I will pull like 3 Hoyas right now so you guys can just understand what a Hoya looks like. And remember, you guys, you have the Google image app, so you can always scan them. But this is a Hoya right here. So they all look very viney. That's the whole thing about Hoyas, is that they all look like viney plants. Right there, that's a Hoya. They literally look the same, how they vine, and they have all these tentacles. You guys, this is how I pick out Hoyas, because they have a similar appearance to them. This bad boy is a Dischidia, and I just bottom water it the same way I would do a Hoya or a succulent. Boom, baby, boom, baby, boom. This is so, I love this plant. It's so cute. I've had it for a few years now. The reason I have all of the plants that I do is because they're low maintenance, guys. When I tell you, I don't just got the mental power or capacity to be watering my plants every single day. That is beyond me. This is a succulent. Succulent. I don't even know the name of this plant. Bottom water, you guys. That's where I'm getting at with this video, is divide your plants into these two categories: bottom water, top water. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, okay? Now guys, it's time to talk about soil and repotting. Most of the time when you go to the plant store and you buy a plant, they give it to you in a pot. Most of the time, you don't have to repot it like big box stores, but for a while. And the way you will know that something needs to be repotted is that you'll start seeing the roots come out of these holes. You'll start seeing the roots sticking out, and that's how you know it's time to repot. Chances are the roots have outgrown their old pot. It'll smash against the walls here. And then you just basically, what you want to do when you repot is you want to go up 2 inches. Okay guys, so if, for example, I am in a 4-inch, the next pot size up I want is a 6-inch pot. You don't want to jump from like a pot this size and then repot a plant to something this big, because that can give your plant root shock. Repotting, guys, is important for your plant's health. But yeah, typically you don't have to repot it for a while unless you could tell it's root bound, which you guys, sometimes you can even pick up the whole plant, lift it up, and if you can see the roots just surrounding the edges of your plant, that I would put it in new soil. Baby, you better back up. Girl, look at this nosy girl. I don't know what she... And then yeah, but typically I just use like a standard soil. I will link all the information, guys, down below for things I use. I use like a typical indoor outdoor potting mix. I've used the same one for the last few years and it has done me well. Certain plants like succulents need a well draining soil. So in those soils there'll be rocks, perlite. It's like a mix of different mediums so that the water can like filter through rather quickly, because succulents don't like their roots sitting in water for a very, very long time. And then you will see, like if you go to the big box stores, or I'll link down below, soil, it'll say cactus soil or like succulent soil, and those are specific to that type of plant. So next up, we're gonna talk fertilizer, aka plant food. You guys, don't make the mistake that I did. Y'all, I had a plant that I loved and had for years, and one day it just fell over and dropped dead, and I was so confused. I was like, what the heck? I took so much good care of it. You had light, you had water. What happened? It was so cute and beautiful, and it was years old and just dropped dead on me one day, and I was baffled and I was heartbroken, and I realized I didn't fertilize it, guys. So plants naturally take nutrients from their soil all the time. It's taking nutrients from the soil, and over time it depletes the soil of nutrients, which is why you need fertilizer, aka plant nutrients, plant food. And so right now I'm using liquid dirt, you guys. This thing is, I don't remember how much I paid for it. I bought this a long time ago, but it really stretches. You dilute it, and this one is, it says 18 concentrated ingredients. It is a balanced vitamins and minerals, and yeah, it's got a lot going on, guys. 1 cap of concentrate into a gallon of water, you guys. Just a cap full into a gallon of water. When I tell you this thing, I think it's a little pricey, but it stretches, okay? Liquid dirt is where it's at. I haven't had a problem with it, and my plants have been healthy and well. But yes, so get you some fertilizer. Next up, we have to talk about pests, plant pests. Yes, unfortunately, it is the name of the game, you guys. When you have house plants, sometimes they come with buggies, and some buggies give you heebie-jeebies. It's gotten me, I'm like, literally, mealy bugs are so gross, you guys. They look like little worms, and I'm sorry to gross you out, but you have to know this in advance. There's a thing called spider mites, and they look like little tiny white dots, and then tiny little black dots that are just moving, and they're almost, you can almost not notice it through the human eyes. Like, it's so tiny, guys, but these things will annihilate and eat and tear up your plants. Okay, they will eat your leaves, they will suck the nutrients out of your plants. Plant pest is a real thing, but have no fear, because diatomaceous earth is here. Okay, guys, diatomaceous earth, this is a plant pesticide. I do believe you have to keep these away from your pets. And so with this, it has been a game changer for me. I have not had to look for other pests. I used to try all kinds of pests and sprays, and honestly some of that stuff did not work. But with diatomaceous earth, you can mix it into your water for your plants and then just water your plants. You could top it, you could put it on the top of the soil and then just water it in there. But diatomaceous earth has been a game changer. But yes, pick up a diatomaceous earth. It is so worth it. And you guys remember, like I said, I will link everything down below. But you guys, you need use some diatomaceous earth, okay? I think that's the one pesticide I would recommend. Easy. Remember, toxic, keep away from pets. Don't inhale, use gloves when handling. But that's it for that. Last but not least is propagation and pruning. Pruning and propagation. And what is propagation and why do you do it? Okay guys, so for example, I have this here plant, right? I have this here, which is called a mini monstera, aka testraferma. Y'all, when I tell y'all these names are confusing, testraferma, if I'm not mistaken, is how you pronounce it. Sometimes they will drop leaves, and all you're left with is this kind of low-key, ugly thing that has no leaves. Like, baby, I want to cut you off ASAP. But not just trash you, but turn you into new plants, you guys. So do you see this right here? On these plants and these leggy things right here, I don't know if it can focus, it will have these little dots. And these dots right here, these are called nodes, okay? Do you see them? These are nodes. So when the nodes go into the water, they disperse new roots. They disperse new roots, okay guys? So they can make you a brand new plant baby, okay? Grab a pair of shears. You can cut between every node, so cutting between all of these little dots here, and then just put it in the water, or you could keep the whole thing like this and just put this in the water and make sure, I would say always at least have 2 nodes in the water, and it should start sprouting new leaves. After some of them take weeks, some of them take months. It really just depends on the plant, but then you'll have a new plant baby. And you guys, I've done this time and time again with my pothos. When I tell you guys those things are the easiest thing to propagate, and they'll get a new leaf in like a couple weeks. Oh, you're gonna love it. Here I have just a little cup of water. It's just lukewarm tap water, guys. I'll just cut it like that. Boom. I'm gonna have at least that node in there. You know what? Cut that off right here. And submerge at least these 2 nodes. I'm gonna add more water later. And then I'll just cut it right here. And then boom. Just leave those things in the water. Here in about a few weeks, a month, couple months, sometimes even, it'll pop out new leaves, guys, and new roots. And all you do is after like a couple weeks or months, you put it in soil, and like when I tell you guys it's that easy, it really is that easy, okay? Don't overthink it and don't overcomplicate it, because it is that easy. This is legit one of my favorite plants, okay? On the last note I am gonna leave you guys on is where you can buy plants. And you can buy plants at local nurseries. You could just Google houseplant shop near me. You can buy it from Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, the Facebook Marketplace. There's Facebook plant groups, guys, and that is pretty much where I've accumulated a lot of my plants. When I travel, I always love to stop at local nurseries. That's just like one of my favorite pastimes. But yeah, look at her. She is so pretty. I love this plant. I think this is a succulent, but I got this at Lowe's probably like 4 years ago. I got it from Lowe's. And I love it. I bottom watered this one, and yeah, you know how they say go outside and touch grass? I literally touch this plant all the time. This is my version of touching grass. House plants really have been a super game changer for me, and I love them so much, and I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Honestly, it's so simple. I really feel like sometimes in life that we can get bogged down or overwhelmed because we don't know like what to do. But when I tell you guys houseplants is simple, you just have to know what kind of plant it is and what watering method it needs to give it natural light. So you guys remember, it's sunlight, It's water. Oh, I forgot to touch, but temperature matters a lot, guys. And I forgot to mention that they thrive more so in like 70 to, I would say, 85 degrees weather. Double check me on that. Just Google the plant you got. But I remember one time I sold a plant to my friend. She told me she couldn't keep it alive. And I remember walking into her house one day, you guys. It was like 60 degrees in her apartment. I was like, sister, you live in an ice chest. What is you doing? Like, oh my gosh, you guys, yeah, that plant had like 0 chance of survival of how cold it was in her house. You guys remember, most of these plants are from the tropics, guys. Like, they're in tropical places. It's not freezing cold. But just look up every plant. Remember, Google is going to be your best friend. Google image, look up specific care for that plant. But if it's a succulent or a Hoya, I would recommend bottom watering. If it's a leafy plant or a tree, top water. That's it, and that's all, guys. Like, literally keep it simple. Keep it simple. KISS. K-I-S. Keep it simple. Okay? And I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure you subscribe and leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed this video. If you guys have friends that are trying to get into houseplants, send them this video. And I hope this was helpful, you guys. I really wanted to keep it to the basics, basic 101. Keep it easy. You know, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. So you guys, remember, this is a new fun hobby. It's going to elevate your space and change your life. And you are not limited to any plant, you guys. I just shared some of my favorite plants with you today. But remember, there's a whole world of house plants out there, guys. That's the fun of it. Y'all, these plants come from all over the world, from Asia, from Africa, from all the continents. The plant Hoyas are from Australia and Asia. Oh, you guys, I have to show you this real quick. Like, y'all, I almost ended this video without showing you my Hoya. Oh my gosh, I don't know the name of this Hoya. I think it's called the it's something with the M-A-L-T-H, but I don't know. But look at her. Beautiful. These freaking flowers look like they come out of a fairy tale book. Oh my gosh. These are the coolest, and this is another reason I love Hoyas, because they put out these flowers, and these blooms, I think they only live for a couple weeks, guys, and you get to enjoy them while you have them. But this one doesn't have too much of a smell, but some of them smell. I've had some that smell like Tootsie Rolls, and they're fuzzy. Y'all, this looks literally so like something out of a movie. I'm not kidding. They're so cute, and they're fuzzy. They look fake is how beautiful they are. They literally look fake. Oh, but yes, if you want blooms on your Hoyas up against your east facing window, literally touching the window. I'm so proud of this plant. You guys, I've had this one for a couple years now, but y'all, there's a whole world to explore out there, okay? Do not limit yourself to just the pothos and the Hoyas. That's the ones I've had the best luck with, so I've stuck with them. And that pretty much wraps up today's video, y'all. Go out there and enjoy the rest of your day. Get yourself a house plant or a couple. Don't beat yourself up if a couple die. You're gonna live, okay? It happens to the best of us. Just practice, you guys. Like anything in life, the more you practice, the better you get. So make sure you share this with a friend that you think they would enjoy. This is the simplest way I could put it, guys. And if it doesn't make sense, please let me know. Comment, send me a message. I'm more than happy to help you out where I can. But yeah, that is it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys. She's down there. Bye. She gonna let her not bite my plant, and then I'll be salty that it's destroyed, and it'll be my own fault. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.